We have a CVH, not VGD, how to control surging. If you have a surge condition and you're trying to get the chiller out of a surge so that you can then further troubleshoot, there's two methods. My preferred, my ultimate preferred is to lower the current limit, because what we have to do is we have to get our lift under control. And so the chiller is doing its best to make set point. That is a chiller's job in the end. We want the controls package is doing everything it can do to that machine in order to achieve the set point value it's been given. Period. Now it's going to try to do that within the safety parameters as best it can. It's going to do what it has to. Sometimes that means it pushes these boundaries. So by lowering a current limit, we can artificially limit how much the compressor is allowed to ramp. We're not going to make leaving water set point, but we don't need to at this point. We're in a surge state. We need to know how we can troubleshoot this machine to figure out why is it surging. You know, we've determined that a surge is happening. Now, why is it happening? And in my preference, I don't want to shut the machine off. And if I don't have to, I would much rather keep it online in the exact conditions that are happening. But if I can lower that current limit a little bit, then troubleshoot further from there. I can go about this one of two ways, going from a current limit perspective. I say it's set to 100% current limit as a default, and I can either go to say like 80%. It kind of depends on where it's already at. But I could go to 80% or 70% and shoot for that upper range to see if I can get just below that surge line and then start my troubleshooting. Or in some cases, I'll go as low as I can. So that may be 40, 50% current limit. Completely force that compressor to ramp down. Then I will start slowly, if I don't have an obvious situation right then, once I've got the surge to stop, then I will start kind of bumping that current limit back up and go, say I started at 40%, I go to 50, and I go to 60. Oh, I hit a surge at 60%. Okay, let's come back to 55. And then let's see where that surge line is. Let me push right up to that surge, because if I can get to that surge line and see what my conditions are, it will help me more quickly identify an issue, because I may not be able to see that condition fully unloaded. But as I force that machine to load, the circumstances or the conditions that are causing the surge will become more apparent, whether that be the cooling tower can't keep up, or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's a refrigerant issue. Those things become more obvious as I am closer to the condition it's happening at. So current limit is one way to do that. And if you have a machine that is perpetually surging and you can't get it under control, or maybe you need to order parts in order to make a repair, but you can't turn it off, you don't have redundancy or whatever else. In those circumstances, it happens, like we got to make do with what we have. I will find where that safe spot is, where I can comfortably leave this machine online to run without pushing into a surge immediately. And I will just set that current limit there. There's been situations where that was 50%. The most that chiller could ramp up to is 50%. Could it make leaving water set point? No, it couldn't. But, 50 degrees leaving was better than nothing at all in this circumstance, right? I wanted a 44-degree set point. At that stage, it's what the customer had. I can't control the fact that they don't have redundancy. I can't control the fact they don't have parts on hand. I can't control whatever the circumstances are. What I can control is getting this machine at a point where it's not going to kill itself, and then moving on to trying to make the rest of the adjustments that I need from there. And maybe it's a pump issue. Maybe it's not even a chiller problem. This chiller, for this particular situation, this chiller needs 2 pumps online. One of the pumps went down, and all we can do is run the one. Then I have to make adjustments at the chiller side to be able to sustain operation enough until we can get that other pump repaired, whether it's a motor, rebuild, doesn't matter. Now, the second way to do this would be just raising your chill water set point. because again, all of this goes around the theme of we got to get the lift down. So raising that chill water set point can help do that. If you don't want to use current limiting, you're trying to run a 45-degree leaving water, then just take it to 48 or 50. I've had plants that were poorly designed and don't have proper flow control. And so we would have to run, it's basically a reset, but we'd have to run a 48 to 50 degree leaving water in the winter time or in the lower load seasons. And we could drop it back down to the 45 during the peak loads, but it just couldn't run at that low of a load given the plant's circumstances. It just wasn't capable of doing that. And that wasn't even, again, that's not a chiller issue. That's a plant issue. The issue with that is like our chiller serves the plant. So now we've got to do what we can to mitigate those problems we didn't create, but we are there to provide a resolution. If you're not already in Chiller Academy, I'd really encourage you to go check it out. Just think about it, right? This is what I do full time. I've committed. I've stepped out of the field, committed my career to this going forward. This is what I've always wanted to do, and to be able to educate, help others, and grow, and help this industry take steps forward. So chilleracademy.com. Like I'd love to be able to work with you over there. We've got a community page. All the lessons have a comment section. That's what I spend a lot of my day doing. If I'm not working on the lesson material itself, then I am in the comments and I'm trying to respond to those as fast as I can, in addition to helping you through email and otherwise. So love to be able to work with you. For all of those that are in the academy, y'all are doing some great work out there. Keep it up. I really appreciate the support and the feedback that you've given.